So we're going to be talking about a multitude of different news bits regarding the Dragon Ball Super manga and anime. The creator of the manga, or one of the people that is involved in the manga, shall I say, because the way the manga and anime and Dragon Ball Super in general is created, there's multiple people involved. There's the original creator, Akira Toriyama. There's the guy that's working specifically on the manga, Toyotaro. And then, of course, there's Toei Animation and all those people involved. But we actually have a little bit of a breakdown here on the process. We also have some really interesting news regarding the manga and the direction it's going to take, kind of a little tease, I guess. And then we also have some news on episode 71 of the anime, a little bit more of a synopsis of that. So let's just jump right into it. Let's start off with talking about the anime. So for episode 71, which comes out, I believe, the week after next, so we'll have the baseball episode, and then we'll have the finally beginning new arc, which we've been waiting a while already because we've been having these kind of filler, lighthearted comedy episodes. We're going to be having Hit returning, supposedly, and here's what the episode entails. On 12/18 broadcast, the strongest assassin returns. The method of killing is super explosive. At someone's request, which obviously they're still keeping it very vague, the strongest assassin in the universe mobilizes. The target is somehow our very own Son Goku. Will Goku be able to uncover the true identity of the assassin, and can he be triumphant against them? Don't miss out on this heart-pounding, exciting development. Now, I'm kind of curious because it's hinting that it's Hit, right? I mean, we've seen the visual and it has like a little bit of a silhouette of Hit in the background and stuff like that, but the identity seems to be kind of a mystery at the very least, not only of the person that actually sent out the hit to begin with, but of the assassin. So does Hit return with some sort of disguise? Is he like, and why would he have a disguise to begin with? I'm assuming maybe because he's an assassin, or maybe because of certain rules. Like, I'm sure you can't really, do whatever the hell you want, willy-nilly waltz in from a different universe, because if this is indeed Hit, which more than likely, I mean, why the hell would they have a silhouette of Hit to begin with or whatever, unless Hit sent out a hit from somebody else, which would be ridiculous. He's a hitman himself. Then him putting on a disguise, I'm assuming, again, goes back to the whole rules of the different universes, because if you remember, Beerus told Champa, yo, what are you waltzing in on my universe for? What the hell are you doing? So maybe him coming to this universe to begin with is supposed to be like some top secret mission that can't be found out, and then we're going to find out it's Hit, and then everything is going to unravel from there on, because again, we know that episode 72 as well is going to continue the fight with Goku and Hit. But again, it makes me wonder, why is he going with a secret identity, other than the fact that he doesn't want to get found out by Beerus? But then again, you got to think, why would he be playing by the rules? Is he really that scared of Beerus? Like, a lot of questions come into play as to why would he be hiding his identity, and of course, who the hell sent out the hit, which has been the topic of conversation for the past couple, speculation videos and whatnot. But then, something that I find a little bit more interesting regarding the manga of Dragon Ball Super, because in case you don't know, as of right now, the manga is still a bit behind from the anime. We're still in the Goku Black and Zama's arc. Toyotaro, the main person behind it or whatever, of course, aside from Akira Toriyama and whatnot, actually came out and said a couple different things are going to be changing for the Trunks arc. Toyotaro says after the Trunks arc ends, that promise will be fulfilled, but in typical Toriyama fashion, it won't go as you might expect. So that promise right there, you gotta wonder, what promise? Like, could he be referring to the whole thing of getting the Omni King another friend? Because he did promise him that he would get him another friend, so could it very well be that he's hinting at that? Although people that seen the anime, they already know what's gonna happen. But then again, he said it might not go as you expect, so he's possibly talking to anime viewers that maybe that promise is what's going to change. It could also very well be what all the Gohan fans are hoping, which don't hold your breath at this point with Toei, but it could very well be that the promise of Gohan training and trying to, be able to do things could be a big change. And if they do that, it's going to make me wonder what's going to happen with the anime, because assuming that Toyotaro does some crazy change with having Gohan be a big part of the manga part of Trunks, the Trunks arc and whatnot against Goku Black and shit like that, then it's going to make me wonder, are they going to completely go into two different directions, and maybe in a future arc in the anime, maybe Gohan will be involved, but in the manga and that arc he won't be? Like, there's a couple different questions, assuming that that could be the promise that they're referring to as well. And I mean, the only other promise I could think of is the tournament. Somehow that tournament will be fulfilled. Maybe at the end they're going to start off the tournament, and maybe the manga and anime are going to have two totally different arcs to begin with, and maybe that's how the manga will be ahead of the anime, because if you remember correctly, Toyotaro did say that at some given point the manga is going to be ahead of the anime. So maybe the upcoming hit arc in the anime is going to be completely skipped from the manga, and he's going to jump straight into the tournament, which is kind of scary if you think about it, because that could eventually mean that the manga and anime, Dragon Ball Super in general, is going to end very soon, because if the manga is jumping ahead and skipping out, assuming that all of this is possible or whatever, he skips out on the hit arc and we go straight into the tournament, then that means that, eventually maybe in a month the anime is going to end the hit arc, or maybe 2 months, something like that, and then jump into the tournament. And then who knows, if the tournament arc is the last arc in Dragon Ball Super, then we could be ending Dragon Ball Super in the next half a year or so, which I hope that's not the case, because I'm really enjoying the revival of Dragon Ball with this anime Dragon Ball Super and this manga in general. But it does keep a bit of interest with the manga, because like a lot of people, they're like, I've seen it in the anime, why do I need to check out the manga? But if there's twists, which seemingly there's going to be, and of course he's, again referring to this whole promise thing, it makes us kind of like wonder, well, what is he talking about regarding that? And then another thing he also said, Toyotaro also said the manga version of the rest of the Trunks arc will be different than the anime, but of course we already could, guess that or whatnot. Basically, I'm assuming that the way things go regarding the Vegito ending and stuff like that is probably going to be different, because from what I've been reading with the manga, they cut out a lot of the stuff that Toei did with Goku and Vegeta and Bulma jumping back and forth with the time machine. Like, the time machine was spammed in the anime, and the manga, it's rarely been used, so maybe that's going to be the difference, is that they're not even going to include anything about the Mafuba, and maybe the whole fight with Vegito is going to be different as well. And if that whole promise thing is legit, who knows, maybe Gohan will be involved in the end, and that could be the big change from the manga and the anime. Again, the manga and anime has been doing pretty different things to begin with, but if the manga goes in a radically different direction, we could essentially be getting 2 different stories at the same time with Dragon Ball Super, and that's going to be interesting to cover, because it's like, I'm literally witnessing 2 different contents of what's supposed to be the same series. It's like, it's bizarre, but of course I'm going to keep on top of it, and I hope everybody is still interested as well, because the manga isn't like, you shouldn't snub your nose to it because the anime's been awesome, because the manga has been doing some great things and it's been cutting out a lot of shit that's kind of been annoying people regarding the anime. And who knows, if they change that ending, maybe the manga version will be 10 times better than the anime for the end of the Trunks arc, because a lot of people were disappointed with how the Trunks arc ended, that Trunks is essentially going to go to a different version of his world, and there's going to be 2 Trunks and 2 Mai's. Maybe the manga will totally cut all that out and it'll be a better ending. So I'm kind of excited for that now that I think about it. And then we got a little bit of a breakdown of the process of how Toyotaro and Toriyama come up with the story and how they go about. Toyotaro said, I draw a rough draft based on Toriyama sensei's original story. Then I send it to my editor, who gets sensei to check it out. It's an honor to be able to give concrete form to sensei's ideas, but sometimes sensei will send over a part he drew himself, which sends me into an uproar, going back and forth between being all hyped up and feeling really down in the dumps. In Toyotaro sensei's rough draft, at this stage, the planets were small and there was no dialogue, so they're showcasing little images of like the changes and whatnot that went down. Toriyama sensei does corrections, making the planets larger and adding dialogue. Toyotaro sensei then makes the image based on these corrections. So Toriyama isn't just like, as a lot of us assume, like he's just like, here's a fucking piece of paper with my ideas, go wild. You wanted more Dragon Ball, go fucking wild. Get out of my face. So it's a little bit more of him being hands-on with like little corrections such as that, which is nice to know that Toriyama isn't completely just like throwing in a fucking piece of paper with some ideas and saying get out of my face. He's actually working kind of close with Toyotaro, even though they're not, neck and neck in the same studio or whatever, but he's still giving input. So that's good as well to know that Toriyama is pretty involved. And again, that kind of clears up confusion for people that are wondering like, wait, so who is doing what? It's like Toriyama is the basis of all of it. He gives the ideas, he sends them over, then Toyotaro works on his shit, and then Toriyama gives the corrections, and then I'm assuming Toriyama also works, I'm guessing, with Toei as well, and what they're gonna do, but I'm sure Toei kind of goes off on their own tangent, and they're just like, oh, okay, Toriyama, thanks for the input or whatever, but they continue to do their own thing, because I don't know if Toriyama would have necessarily approved of the ending that they had for the future Trunks returns, Goku Black Zama's arc. Like, I'm questioning how much involvement Toriyama had with that. Yeah, I mean, overall, some interesting stuff to note. So, for starters, the future Trunks arc is going to have a different ending in the manga than the anime, which we kind of all assumed anyway, but it could very well absolutely stomp out the anime's ending, or it could be worse, which I highly doubt, because again, the manga's been really good. Also, that promise is going to be fulfilled, but in a way unexpected. He could be referring to Gohan, he could be referring to the Omni King, he could be referring to the tournament that's coming up, and the manga could very well, again, skip out on this hit arc that's coming to the anime and go straight into the tournament. But let me know what you guys think about all this. First of all, all, are you banking on the manga having a better ending to the Goku Black arc than the anime, or you think it's going to be worse, or it's going to be roughly the same? I'm assuming that it's going to be somewhat similar, but still way better and very good, and of course a little bit different, because again, the way he described it is going to be different. Also, guesses on the promise that's going to be fulfilled and that it's going to be unexpected. What do you think he means by that? What is the promise? And your overall thoughts of all this. I mean, the whole breakdown was nice to learn about Toriyama, not just saying, hey, here's a napkin or whatever. Like, he's actually working closely to make things, you know, appropriate and stuff like that. And your overall thoughts of all this. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.